What's going on, you guys? So I want to talk to you today about a problem that is hurting so many of you. And it's that you are being too nice. See, here's the thing. Nice sales reps get fired or they don't have a job. You're not going to sell deals. You're not going to have a job if you continue to play nice. So let's talk about it. And before I get into this, I just want to mention that the top bonus challenge, the 10 days to top bonus challenge is coming up. For those of you, before I forget, for those of you who are interested in joining us all the way to the top, join us at toplevelbonus.com, and I cannot wait to have you inside. So let's get into this training because somebody posted this. I asked a question: what's the number one challenge that you are facing right now? And by the way, if you know somebody who needs to hear this because they're too nice, I was that person, so I totally can relate. Put their name below. And I want to talk about the first thing that you need to do. So why is this a problem? First of all, here's why this is a problem. If you are too nice, by the way, let me know who you are as you come in here. If you are too nice, you are not able to do all the things that you've got to do, right? You're not able to ask for credit. You're scared to do that because what will they think of me? You feel like you can't, quote unquote, turn the hat, right? Who's heard that saying before? Let me know if you have. By the way, if you got a deal today, drop that in below. Say, I got a deal today. And if you didn't get a deal today, but you're getting one tomorrow, you can say tomorrow as well. So and congrats, by the way. So the first thing that you need to do, if you are too nice, you need to know your role. You need to know your role. See, here's where most sales reps get confused. They think, because you hear this so often, go out and make a friend, right? Go make a friend. But the reality is that making a friend will not get you a deal. So you need to know your role. Your role is not to go to work to make friends. And if you get what I'm saying, let me know that. And this is really where the confusion lies, because when you're new to the industry, or even when you're seasoned and you've been there for a while, we think that we have to entertain everybody's conversation. We have to be the nice guy or the nice gal because that's just polite. The bottom line is, and I'm going to make this contextual in two different ways. Number one, your coworkers are not paying you. They're not paying your mortgage. They're not paying your bills. They're not paying anything in your life. So if you believe that they and you being nice to them is more valuable than you getting your bills paid, than you being able to get out of debt, than you being able to live your dream life, then continue to be nice to everybody and not put your business first, okay? So that also applies outside of your sales presentation. Now, how does this apply to your sales presentation? You've got to know your role. Your job is not to make friends with your tour either. It's not to make friends with your tour. So I'm not saying, get this, I'm not saying, by the way, tag somebody in the comments below who needs to listen to this. I'm not saying to not get into rapport. In fact, that's where most people fail, is that they are not in rapport. They're not in rapport, so they can't get to what we're going to call the deep structure here in just a moment. So you've got to get into rapport, and rapport is more than I like your shirt, you have a pretty watch or nice tie or great shoes or whatever, right? It's more than that. So you've got to know your role. Your role is that you are, whether you like it or not, you're a vacation ownership consultant. Call yourself what you want, but you are a consultant. And would you rather be called a nice guy or a nice gal? Which one pays you more? Being a vacation ownership consultant, you can call yourself a sales rep as well, or a nice guy or nice gal. Nice guy, nice gal will not get you paid. It will keep you broke, and it will keep you without a job. You will fast not have a job, okay? You will not have a job fast. So know your role. And when you keep that in the back of your mind, or really at the forefront of your mind as you're presenting, it's going to become really clear to you when you have stepped out of your role. Because there's a very different mindset that's involved when you look at yourself as a consultant. When you look at yourself as someone who is there to be in service and to get an end outcome. Your job is to get deals and to make money, right? Your job is to get deals, meaning help somebody see a way in. whether they're buying into ownership, vacation ownership for the first time, or they're buying up to higher levels. Your job is to sell a deal. It's to change someone's life. It's not to get them to like you on the way out the door. You will see yourself taking them out the door, and that's exactly what you'll have left, is just a smile and a thank you. You were great. Thanks so much. Thanks, Joni. You were so good. Oh, really? That was the worst thing. I hated to hear you're so good. You were so good. Especially when I first started, it was like, I was so good. I was so good that you didn't buy, right? Really? Who can relate to this, by the way? Let me know. I can't see your comments, by the way. So guys, know your role. Always remember that you are not there to be friends. You're not there to make friends with your sales reps and everybody else around you, and you're not there to become the friend of the tour. You are there with a mission and a purpose to change their life, to change their life. And you cannot change somebody's life when they do not see, this is number 2, that when people make big investments, they make big investments because you are showing them a solution to their problem. Here's the problem in the industry and in sales in general. More people than not sell hope for gain than they sell pain. What do I mean by that? If you are selling this big, beautiful, nice future with all these lovely vacations and these pina colada drinks with these rainbows in them, or ski trips to Breckenridge or wherever it is, you're selling something great, sure, but more times than not, people do not make a move for something better. Who gets what I'm saying? Drop a yes below. They make a move because they are so much in pain that they cannot stomach being in pain any longer. And this is a problem. And when I connect with a lot of, thousands of sales reps over the past 4.5 years that I've been taking reps from being on the verge of termination to the top 1% and helping 1%ers double, triple, and even quadruple their sales. Since I've been doing that, the number one thing that I've been hearing from reps is that they are not able to get somebody into the emotional ether, right? Into the emotional ether. They don't say those words, but they're like, I feel like I'm not getting them emotionally connected. Tag somebody, by the way, and please share this out. I know people need to hear this message. We have got to start saving these jobs and absolutely cut this 95% retention. What's that word called? Rescission. Jesus, Joni. God, I can't even think right now. People are losing their jobs at 95% rate within 6 months. We've got to stop that. Please cancel that word, rescission. Woo, that is not a good word. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Not a good word. So you get my point. There is a massive turnover in this industry, and it's unnecessary. It's because people are focused on all the wrong things. And my mission is to help save jobs, to help save careers, and to change lives, because when you guys realize that this job is not as hard as you're making it out to be, then all of a sudden you start approaching your sales process differently, and you begin to connect on a deeper level. So here's what happens. People make big investments. They spend a lot of money only when there is a problem that they are solving. When you show them that this is the solution to their problem, only then will they make a move. Very small percentage of people make a move for hope for gain. And if they do, it's because in their mind, they connected that to a solution to a problem. You probably didn't even present it that way, more times than not. It happens. And it's not to your fault, like you don't know. It's not, I mean, the training in this industry sucks. It just sucks, excuse my language, but it sucks. And this is why so many people are losing their jobs, is because too many people are ascending up to management levels who are not qualified to be managers, okay? And it's okay, I can get all the managers hating me, but the good ones won't, because they get it. They're like, no, I'm actually the good manager who was great in sales and actually want to ascend up to higher levels in the company. So that happens too, by the way. So people make big moves because they're solving a problem. And so too many of you, again, are selling hope for gain, and you need to start creating more pain. So how do you create more pain? You create more pain because by finding, number one, you have to find the problem. You have to find the problem. And what most reps do is they think that they are communicating a problem. And if you're selling frontline or first-time buyer sales, if you're on that line, in their minds, do they see it as a problem that they don't own timeshare or vacation ownership? Yes or no? No, they don't. That is the problem that you see. It's not their problem. Does that make sense? So if you are simply trying to even find a problem, but you're telling them that, well, you don't, it's because they don't own this, I get it. I get that you get it, but they don't. So you have to go deeper. And if you picture an iceberg, I want you to picture an iceberg, right? What happens when we see an iceberg? We're only seeing a fraction of the iceberg. The rest of the iceberg is all the way underneath the water, under the ocean. You cannot see it. So what you're seeing is the surface problem. You're seeing the surface problem that they do not own, or maybe they're not VIP, or maybe they're not presidential reserve, or all of the things with depending on your company, whatever company you're at. PR, whatever the thing is, right? Same thing. So that is not the problem. You guys get it? That's not the problem. That's the problem in your eyes. And if you get this, I know many of you do, let me know below. Like, I get this. Yes, that's the problem in your eyes. So when you find a problem, you have to let them realize that that's the problem. And this is when people just go into the motion of saying, oh, well, timeshare is the solution. Going to the next level of ownership is the solution. It's not the solution in their mind until you can actually find it, and it can be, I'm not saying it can't, but that's not the problem rather. The problem is something deeper. The problem is the deep structure, as we call it, underneath all of the top of the iceberg. That's the problem, the thing you can't see. Okay, so you've got to find the deep structure. And by the way, for those of you who haven't heard, and I know I'm going to forget at the end because I always do, remember that the top level bonus, 10 days to top bonus challenge is coming up in just a couple days. We're beginning. So if you are interested, if you've ever been in that before and it's benefited you and you've got to top bonuses, then definitely let us know in the comments so we can help people realize that that's something that they may want to consider doing or just do, because it's the best money you'll ever spend and it will cost you less than a dinner out, and probably make you thousands of % in return, just saying. So toplevelbonus.com for that, just so I don't forget. And so what you want to find is, number one, I always recommend in my courses and programs that I have, I always recommend you look for 3 problems. 3 problems. Why is that? Because the problem that you think is a problem may not be one that they, again, think is the problem. And you don't often know what they want to have solved so badly that they're willing to spend 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever the amount of money is to have that fixed today. So when you really look for those problems in your mind, you're like, okay, ooh, that's a problem. Ooh, that's a problem. Ooh, that's a problem, right? Now the trick is this, okay? You guys ready? By the way, hopefully you're sharing this with your coworkers, because if not, and this is okay, listen now, but definitely tag somebody as I'm talking through this below, because somebody needs to hear this message. And when we operate out of an abundance mindset, as opposed to a scarcity mindset, that if I share this and somebody's gonna pass me, guess what? That's only hoarding something so beautiful in a gift, and it's sending the opposite message to the universe, which means I want to excel, and I believe that everybody can excel with me. So if you get that, then obviously you're in the right place. So definitely share this out, please. We've got to help more people save their jobs and get to places that 1 month can absolutely turn around their life. So you now got to get them to realize that that is a problem, that those things are problems. So I want to give you a couple ways to do that. And again, because a problem is not a problem unless they believe it to be a problem. And so some ways that you can do that is you want to, it's all through your discovery. And sometimes this comes out later, I get it. Like they're bringing up the thing that you thought you addressed earlier and like, oh, it's still coming up, right? And so then we have to dig deeper right there. But more times than not, this absolutely should be happening in what I call creating your blueprint to the sale, or your roadmap to the sale rather, because the sale is lost or made in the discovery, hands down. If you believe that, drop a 1 below. The sale is not made anywhere else. It's made in the discovery, whether you sell first-time buyers or you're upgrading owners. And so how do you create more of that pain? Again, it's asking them questions like, what have you done to change this? Bob and Mary, you told me you have not taken a vacation for 2 years. How does that make you feel? No, it's fine. Is it? Do you see how I'm just by asking those 2 words, that one question, all of a sudden in their minds, it's like, oh, Surface level, it's fine, but deep structure, is it or is it not? And it's just a simple process of asking sometimes that one question, is it? So what have you done to change this? And they'll say, well, nothing, and whatever the thing is that they've done. I try to get him, I try to get her to book ahead. We've done this, that, or the other. Okay. And your job is to get them to realize that that is a problem, that their approach is a problem, and that it's not getting them to the solution that they desire. Because ultimately, what do we all want in life? What do we all want? We want human connection. We want to feel love. We want to feel like our life is meaningful. Do we not? We do. We want more than work, right? And for many people, work is fulfilling, but there's a deeper level of fulfillment. Do you know what fulfills me? What fulfills me is helping people be able to radically transform their lives and go from being on the verge of termination to the top 1%, to even start with having a single incredible month. 1 month, and I always say, you guys who've been following me for a long time, hashtag it only takes one, and drop it below to remind people it only takes one. Because that little mindset reframe is enough sometimes. It's the one thing that you need to keep that belief going, to keep you in the game. It only takes one. And when you can have one good month, you will change your life. Many of us have had our lives changed because of one good month. And if you have, definitely let us know, because it's powerful. And that's why I love this industry so much, because not only does it help serve you and your families to elevate your level of being and well-being, because you're able to create a life that you never were able to create before, most of you, right? Most of us. I wasn't, even in a business that I was doing great, and then lost everything, ended up in timeshare, going, how am I gonna keep my business afloat? It's like going down faster than I know it. And I ended up finally realizing that, holy cow, this is the way. This is the way. And I just fell in love with timeshare so much that I ended up giving up my business, and that's okay too, right? And eventually ended up moving on past that. But this job, this industry saves lives and changes lives. And not only does it change your life and your family's lives, and it can, but it also changes every single person that you come in contact with. And I want to say one thing, because I believe this so strongly, that when you take your job as a sacred responsibility, there is some deep energy behind that. When you take your role every single day, first wave, second wave, if you've sat around for a day, if you've sat around for 2 days and you haven't got a tour, if you sat around for 3 weeks, I have seen people die on the vine at my old job. It was horrible. But if you sat around for that long and you just hold on to that belief that I have a sacred responsibility here. It is not about me. It is not about the income that I make. It is not about my bonus level even, right? But it's about changing people's lives and helping people realize that there is a better way. When you operate from that space, watch your sales begin to change. It's a powerful thing. I get emotional about this. My heart's beating so fast because it's a real thing. So I start asking them questions like, tell me more about that. You just mentioned you haven't, the last vacation you went on, I don't know, give me something that you guys, I can't even see your comments, so it's no point. At some point I'll go back in and look at this. I have 0 comments here. And I know that's not the case. Sometimes when you're on a laptop, it does that. There you are. I see you, Milo. I see you, Sharon. I see your faces. So yeah, guys, like, tell me more about that. I got to tell you, I wasn't going to say this because it felt a little uncomfortable, but so there's someone in my life, and hopefully they don't watch this, who the other night I felt really disconnected from. And I was telling them something really personal, like, things that were big wins for me in my business that were going to another level, and just massive things that were happening, and they weren't listening. And they like heard me, but then changed the subject. Oh, okay. And guess how that made me feel? What words do you think that I could have possibly have felt by feeling like I was so excited about the incredible day that I had just experienced, and there was all this crazy stuff going on, but I wanted to share it, right? And then when you say something that is that important to you, and somebody who asked you a question to begin with then kind of dismisses it and moves on, you feel unheard, right? You feel What's another word? And you may be writing them, but I can't read them right now. But I felt unsupported, unheard and unsupported. And it was a big deal because nobody wants to feel unheard or unsupported in their relationships. And I tell you this because, number one, if you're asking somebody a question, show that you care about the answer. Stop looking all around when you ask them a question. Stop thinking 5, 10, 15 steps ahead. Be there. That energy is tangible almost. You feel it. The other person hears and feels. I could not see that individual on the other end of the phone, but I could feel that they were not disconnected. And the words of, okay, cool. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So I'm just telling you that and being a little vulnerable right now because I want you to look at who you've been being this week even, or even maybe just today. And is there a way that you can be more present and more connected in your sales process, in your sales conversations, and even your conversations at home to really elevate the fact that you're listening, that you are actually listening. And go into it with intention to really be the best listener that they've ever heard listen to them in a long time. So I wanted to share those couple things with you. Oh, and one other question that you can ask is when somebody says something is, I have no idea how long we've been on this for, by the way, is how is that a problem? So that helps you get to the deep structure. I've been doing a lot of coaching with my mastermind, the 1%, and these are incredible females. I think we're actually going to keep this a female group, by the way. We've had males in it before, but there's just some amazing energy with these powerhouse women who are absolutely incredible, and I call them like beasts of the industry, the best of the best. And these, we're doing a training on mastering linguistic reframes and how to use language really powerfully and with influence and intention. And that what we talk about in there is a concept called deep structure of language, because it's one thing to hear something that somebody says, but there's meaning behind the thing, right? All of us have beliefs, and we talk about these beliefs, by the way, in the top bonus challenge, so definitely join us there, because when you can shift through the beliefs that are limiting you from getting to the next level of your sales, of your business, of your life, of your finances, all of the above, then really things begin to open up for you and you go to places you've never thought possible. And you can go to toplevelbonus.com, by the way, to join us there. We begin in just a few days. So deep structure is important because when you hear something in a question or you hear a statement, for example, we don't travel that way. What does that mean? What does that even mean? We don't travel what way? You don't travel in a car, you don't travel in a plane, you don't travel in a UFO, you don't travel on Travelocity.com, you don't travel using Timeshare. What does that mean specifically? So how do we get to that deep structure of what somebody's actually saying versus what you hear? And when they get clear on what they're actually saying, because most people just say stuff, right? They don't even know what the heck they're saying. They just say stuff like, oh yeah, we don't travel that way. Oh, we wouldn't buy this. We wouldn't do that. What does that mean? So how specifically, right? So you want to ask sometimes, if someone says that we can't go on vacation for another year, how is that a problem? How else could we use that question? This ownership doesn't work for us. Talk to me about that. You may want to say how specifically, or you may want to ask, how is that a problem? And that helps you to get to the deep structure. Okay, so rock stars, I wanted to share those things with you. The other thing is sit in the pain longer. Some of you guys aren't sitting there, you're touching it, you're like, oh, you're being too nice. You're like, I'm so nice, I just don't want, oh my God, it's uncomfortable for me. Of course it's uncomfortable for you. Talking about pain's not comforting. It's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable because people don't like pain. The first thing they want to do is get the heck away from their pain so fast. Nobody wants to sit and talk about their pain. I mean, some people do. Some people just want to talk about it all day long, I suppose, and cry about it and not change their lives. But most people don't want to talk about pain because, oh, I don't want to talk about that right now. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, it's too much. But when you talk about it in a way and you start asking powerful questions that allows them, revelatory questions, that allows them to actually reflect. questions that cause reflection, causes them to go inside, it causes them to dig up an answer, it causes them to look at their husband or their wife and say, babe, how is this a problem? When you do that, and you do that with intention and purpose, man, not only are you connecting on another level, your niceness doesn't have to turn into turning of the hat to become an asshole. Excuse my language. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be that person. It's not about turning the hat. I can't tell you how many people I get on calls with. They're like, oh, Joni, I just don't know how to turn the hat. You don't need to turn any hats. There's no hat that needs to be turned. Stop trying to turn hats. Stop. It's about being a consultant, and consultants get down to the deep structure. They get down to the root cause of the problem, and they show them that there's a solution. They guide them and lead them to the solution. So that is the difference. And Rockstars, I hope that you understand these nuances and these subtleties, because listen, it's not about your script. It's not about your 10 steps, your 15 steps, your 500 steps to the sale. Those things drive me crazy, by the way. It's not about any of that. And the reason why the reps and the managers who join us in the Top Bonus Challenge start breaking through their slumps, sometimes 3 weeks, 3 months I've heard of people not selling, why they're able to break through is because we get down to the deep structure in the challenge. We get down to all the things that people aren't talking about. All the surface stuff is not the issue. So we get down and we help radically shift your state and get you excited about being again and get you connected with changing people's lives and being in a very powerful, sacred role. So if you enjoyed this, please tag somebody below. Please share this out into different groups as well. Share it with your manager, share it with your team, and let's get this out there to more people who just sometimes one thing, you guys, I always say it only takes one deal can change someone's life, because that one deal, not only does it begin what we call momentum, it starts with one, but that one deal also creates belief in your minds. So go out and get your one deal this week and join us at the Top Bonus Challenge. Go to toplevelbonus.com. We pay you to bring your friends in. It will absolutely be free by just bringing in one person who you work with and 2 people. Now you're making money, so I don't know what we can say on Facebook about that, but we pay you affiliate commissions 100% right now. We're probably going to change that soon, but we're cutting checks for like thousands of dollars. Well, a lot, not thousands total, I mean, but yeah, a couple people getting $300-400 at a time. So it's pretty awesome. So Rockstars, join us. Love you. Man, just believe, okay? Believe. It only takes one, and focus on that this week. You guys are rock stars. Type your takeaways for me below. I love to read them. Peace. Peace.